We are following breaking news this morning out of Franklin County, news that has affected our WDBJ7 family very deeply. Our WDBJ7 morning crew was live this morning at Smith Mountain Lake when shots were fired around 6:45. And our general manager and WDBJ7 Vice President Jeff Marks is here. To tell us more about what happened.
Kim, it is my very, very sad duty to report that we have determined through the help of the police and our own employees that Allison and Adam died this morning shortly after 6:45 when the shots rang out. We do not know the motive. We do not know who the suspect or who the killer is. We do know that the Franklin County Sheriff, I just got off the phone with Franklin County Sheriff Overton. I just got off the phone before that with the state police. They are working very diligently to track down both the motive and the person responsible for this terrible crime against two fine journalists. I cannot tell you how much they were loved, Allison and Adam, by the WDBJ7 team. They both were in love, and we'll talk about that a little more, with other members of the team here, and our hearts are broken, and our sympathies go to the entire staff here, but also the parents and family of Adam Ward and Allison Parker, who were just out doing their job today, covering a story near Smith Mountain Lake.
Yeah.
And what was the name of the plaza, Kim?
Bridgewater Plaza.
Bridgewater Plaza.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you more as we can, but we have other members of the team here with us today, holding back tears, frankly. Kim has been working with Allison and Adam for quite a while. So has Leo Hirschbrunner, our morning meteorologist. Jean Jadhan is the co-anchor with Chris Hurst, and Chris has said it's okay to say that he and Allison were an item and involved. Chris is here and quite devastated, as is Melissa Ott, who was engaged to Adam. Melissa was our morning producer and a part of this team.
Actually, Melissa's last morning producing our show, and we were celebrating that with her earlier today. And you know, Allison had brought in balloons, I brought in a cake. It was a day of celebration. It was just an ordinary day. You know, we were so happy for them. You know, she had gotten another job, and Adam was going to follow her soon after, and they were going to get married. And you know, there were a lot of good things, you know, happening for Adam. And Allison, oh wow, she's a rock star, you know, here at WDBJ. She really has done a wonderful job reporting, filling in anchoring. You know, you throw anything at that girl and she could do it. We just came off this, the child abuse special Monday night, and she was just a huge, huge part of that, really, and just came off like a pro to be as young as she was.
Just 24. Really, Allison just celebrated a birthday, just turned 24. Adam just turned 27. They're both from this area. Yeah. Adam graduated from Salem High School, went to Virginia Tech. Allison, Martinsville High School, graduated early from her class, and then graduated JMU with honors, and just had such a bright future, both of them, ahead of them. And Adam just told me, I'm going to get out of news. I think I'm going to do something else. Yeah. Following his fiancee down to Charlotte. And
they had a couple of interviews,
that smile on his face, that's always how he looked out covering the news. And
solid Virginia Tech fan, anything. In the morning, we get here really early in the morning, Kim, myself and all of them, and when we come in, they just make this newsroom come alive. Everybody sometimes comes in groggy. You got Adam talking about the Virginia Tech this or that or something going on. Allison, you can hear her a mile away coming down the hall. Solely going to be missed.
Adam had been with us quite a few years, and I believe it started in the production department.
He did.
And
ran
then
camera.
moved over, he ran camera in the studio, and moved over to running camera news, and proved himself to be just a fine photojournalist, and the kind of guy who, if he was on his way home from work and heard about something breaking, would turn around and go do it. There's an example of that recently. Chris asked me to say a few minutes ago when I said, tell me something about Allison. And he said, I can't just tell you one thing. She was everything and brightened up every room, and no matter what was going on. She was a positive person. Allison started here as an intern, I believe,
She did.
3 or 4 years ago. Got a full-time job somewhere else in the South.
Yep.
And then rejoined us maybe a year ago.
Yeah, it was a little over a year
a
ago.
little over a year
and
ago.
just really, soared. Just, like I said earlier, she's a rock star. She's professional, so much fun, and so kind. I lost my dad back in January, and she was one of the first people to, to come with condolences and came to my home and brought food and just comfort, and that's just who she was.
Genuine
just
person.
a good friend. Yeah.
I think we're all in a state of shock here. You can hear people behind us in the newsroom crying. I mean, it's just really hard
We're holding
to.
it back too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to even comprehend. We cover these things all the time, but it's really
This is
tough.
different.
Home,
It's
yeah.
tough covering
It's
it when you don't know the people, when it's two of your own and so young, and just we have no idea what happened. They were out covering a feature story. They were not, in some situation where there were demonstrations
No,
or protests
absolutely
or
not.
a
50th
scary
anniversary of Smith
situation.
Mountain Lake.
Yeah,
They
it
were
was
covering
light
celebration.
Yeah.
a feature story this morning, like they many times do on the morning show, and then and they were fatally shot this morning.
We just feel a sense of loss. We've lost 2 friends, 2 co-workers. Families have lost their daughter, their son, fiance, girlfriend. These
goes on
2
and
were
on.
more than what you saw here on TV. They were much, much more, and they're family, and we've lost 2 members of our family.
And to repeat what we do know, while they were doing a live report at 6:45 this morning on WDBJ7 Morning, Adam Ward was our photographer. On camera was Allison Parker interviewing someone from the Smith Mountain
Yes.
Lake Chamber, and someone with a gun. We believe it was a man. Barged into where they were and fired several shots, 6 or 7 it sounded
least.
like.
Yeah.
We heard screaming, and then we heard nothing, and the camera fell. We're choosing not to run the video of that right now because, frankly, we don't need to see it again, and our staff doesn't need to see it again. But we will do full reporting on it later. Our teams are working on it right now through the tiers, and we are working very closely with Sheriff Overton and folks from the state police to get to the bottom of this, we always say senseless, crime. And it truly is when it hits your family. How can this individual have robbed these families, the families of Allison and Adam, of their lives and their happiness and their love for whatever reason?
Who knows?
So I'm Jeff Marks. I'm the president and general manager of WDBJ Television, and Kim and Jean and Leo are here with remembrances of these 2 really fine journalists, and more than that, fine people.
Jeff, you mentioned that they were interviewing someone else. Was the person they were interviewing also hurt? Do you know?
We don't believe so. It's Vicki Gardner from the Smith Mountain Lake Chamber. I think we would have heard.
Okay.
I sincerely hope not. The scene was described to us as chaos. Our senior manager, one of our senior managers who lives nearby, had to park and walk, I'm guessing a couple of miles to get to it because of the traffic around, again, the name of it.
Bridgewater Plaza.
I've been there.
At Smith Mountain Lake,
I'm drawing a
Manita.
blank. Bridgewater Plaza near Manita, Smith Mountain Lake.
Smith Mountain Lake, yeah.
That's what we know. Anything else you all would like to share?
Just that they were special people, and as Leo had said, they would brighten up a room every morning. We're all sleepy, we're all tired, but they would come in, and it was like gangbusters. And Adam would come in, he'd grab a piece of candy, go and say something to Leo about the Bruins or the Red Sox or something, talk about Virginia Tech, and Allison would come in just kind of bouncing, just happy just to start her day. And today was just like any other day, and they did great work every day and put their all into what they did, and I am going to miss them both.
Today we were going to have staff meetings to talk about happy things. We have a lot going on that's really wonderful here, and instead what we'll be doing this afternoon is a memorial gathering. And we could never have imagined that that was going to be what our day was going to be like.
No, certainly not. And we realize we cover stories of people being shot all the time, and so now we realize firsthand what so many of you have sadly gone through. That when it's someone you know and someone you love and care about and someone you work with that day in and day out, and just when someone's so young, I think it makes
the potential that's been robbed
so
because
tough.
of this incident.
And so, and I know that you all welcome these faces into your homes every morning, Kim and Leo and Allison, and you don't see Adam, but you kind of see him because you see all
He's sometimes in the
weatherbug question.
So he's in the weatherbug questions. So I think that all of you feel like these are kind of members of your family too. Yeah. So that's why we wanted to make sure we let you know what is going on and join with us in the sense of shock and loss and mourning that we're all feeling this morning.
And we should probably go back to regular programming now rather than prolonging this, but rest assured we'll come back on the air as more information becomes available. Our digital team is updating our digital platforms, our web and our mobile platforms as we speak, and we'll keep information going there. As soon as we get it, we'll put it out there. There's no need to call us because everything we have we'll put out as soon as we get it. And we'll come back at noon with our regular broadcast, and of course this will be the big story that we will want to give you as many details on as we can. I want to say that the WDBJ7 news team is the best team I've ever worked with in 42 years of broadcasting. And this kind of loss will resonate in these halls for a long, long time as we remember in their short lives what dedicated journalism and what they produced and what outstanding people they were. And we will share more as we have it.
Allison Parker, 24, Adam Ward, 27. If you're just joining us, our News 7 WDBJ7 morning team fatally shot this morning while out covering a feature story at Bridgewater Plaza at Smith Mountain Lake. We will have more details coming up on WDBJ7. Jeff, you're getting some new information you want to share?
No, just more condolences from friends
People calling.
of WDBJ7, and we sure appreciate it.
Yes, we do appreciate it. We will be back with more. Keep it here and WDBJ7.com.